biofortification for better nutrition. And we know this biofortification is a way of driving access to nutritious food. So first of all, we have to start with the definition of biofortification. So what do we say biofortification? If you are told to define it, say biofortification is a process of improving the nutritional quality of food products through proper breeding. And most times, these nutritional qualities we are looking at are mainly the micronutrients, which tend to be deficient in so many food products. So we are looking at this biofortification as a way of handling the issue of hidden hunger among populace, and as a driving force to ensure that people get nutritious foods that they can consume. So we now say that biofortification is a real tool that will help to address this hidden hunger we are talking about. Hidden hunger, we look at hidden hunger, we say that hidden hunger is a form of nutritional deficiency that have to do with micronutrients. The micronutrients are the vitamins and the minerals. Biofortification helps to improve these micronutrients in certain foods. And the organization is looking at certain staple foods in order to fortify them with these micronutrients. For example, we have the vitamin A cassava, which is everywhere and has been fortified with vitamin A to address the need for vitamin A in both adults and children. We have the orange flesh sweet potato, which addresses the issue of lack of carotene and even vitamin A, and is addressing both the children and the adults because both consume them. These biofortified crops helps to address, reduce the issue of diseases, certain malnutrition related diseases. Because when foods are high in these micronutrients, the consumers tend to be healthier because they get these micronutrients from the food they eat. And it's a long-term process because when these foods are produced in such a way, it goes a long way to address this need we are talking of. And also, it is cost effective because these crops, when they're planted, the farmers can keep them and replant them the next year. Just recently, I went to in Anambra State, as far back as a locality like Umunze, Agolo. You find farmers handling vitamin A cassava, vitamin A maize. They will keep the one they will plant for the next season, even as they consume the ones they have planted. And also, this biofortification fortified crops has the tendency of generating more produce, thereby earning more income to the farmers. Not to talk of the health benefits, addressing what we call these, some of these diseases that has to do with malnutrition. And also, the farmers, even as they have cultivated this, it empowers the rural workers. Like in Numun's, I was opportune to meet a lady that works with a cooperative, and she told me they were giving the cassava tubers to plant, even the maize greens, to ensure that this policy gets to the grassroots as as easily as possible. And once it gets to the grassroots, the mass populace will be affected because the outcome of such food will go around the whole people, and and address this issue of hidden hunger we are looking at. Remember, I said hidden hunger has to do with not really being hungry. And this also this bio.
Thank you, Dr. Elo. I think our network is up there. So before she joins, I'd just like to emphasize some of the things that she mentioned earlier. that eating hunger is not the fact that you are not eating at all, like you are hungry, but it means that what you are eating is not providing the micronutrients that your body needs, and so that's where biofortification comes in. So this brings the nutrients that are lacking originally in the food that is being consumed. So now there is something that farmers do as they plant this crop and harvest, they get the stem from this same one that they plant again. And so they keep recycling the same vine, the same seedling. So there has to be a way to enhance the quality of what is being planted so that what comes out, what comes to us is nutritional, is nutritious enough. Okay, so now in awaiting Dr. Elo's rejoining, I would like to ask uh, Dr. Achu, I believe he's there with us. I would like to ask him, being one of those working certification of seedlings and vines and the inputs that gets to farmers. Now, what's the terrain like when it comes to biofortification? What's the level of acceptance among farmers? Dr. Achukwu, are you there? Okay, so we'll wait for him to join us. Now, Ukange, yes, you are a processor. Now, I would like to find out what is the level of reception for biofortified foods. So, do you process biofortified foods? Do you get biofortified crops from farmers? Let's start from there. CEO Diet House.
Diet House.
Hello?
Okay, you're speaking.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you. Quickly, just to answer your question, yes, I process biofortified food. Basically, what I use is vitamin A, cassava, and OFSP. And then for a few times, I've also used the vitamin A mix. So your question was the acceptability, how customers accept the product, right? Hello?
Yeah, that's the question. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, did you ask of the acceptability of the product or how I access the product?
So, what's the acceptability rate?
Okay,
What's
the
client?
acceptability. Yes, at first it was challenging getting people to accept this. Let me start with OFSP. You could read the expression on their faces. Is it with the potato we know comes in white or colorless form? Yes. So how come you have, is this carrot? You say no, this is not carrot. And then some people that are a bit educated feel these are genetically modified foods. So you have to preach a whole lot to them that no, we are trying to combat hidden hunger. That is why there's need for us to come up with products, or that's why the breeders came up with this as a way of you having your macronutrients right from the farm to table. Either you eat it as a whole food or you process it as a biofood or add it to other food for food formulation and all that. So traditionally, locally, people find it very difficult to accept. But with the aid of nurses and health facilities, doctors and all that, especially for pregnant women, they encourage them to eat foods as such. So now people are beginning to accept it. But on a scale of 10 to 100, I'll tell you that In town, it's just 40%. But when you go to the villages, it's even worse off. In the villages, on a scale of 10 to 100, let we rate it at 15 or at most 20, because they will tell you that they don't know this, they don't like it, it's strange to them. And then in terms of volume, the biofortified foods, they are not as dense or voluminous like that of the traditional grains or tubers they know. Like the moisture content of OFSP is higher than that of the regular potatoes we know. So even to accept and cultivate, some of them don't even want to cultivate it. So on that, that's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you very much for your perspective on that. So we'll be going to Dr. Achuku. I believe he's on now. So we would like to know, as a regulator, are there other varieties, that provides the acceptability that is necessary? But before that, the initial question I asked Dr. Achuku is, being a regulator, what's the level of availability of these biofortified inputs in Nigeria? What's the coverage like?
Yeah, thank you very much for this wonderful question. We as a regulator will do everything possible to see that research and development gets to the hinterland, most especially target area. You see, with the advent of these biofortified crops, the initial breeding start with the NARIS, that is the National Agricultural Research Institute, in collaboration with other CGIF and partners. We as regulators will ensure whatever is bred is true to type and carries that particular vitamins or micronutrient that is specific to it. Our own case as regulators is to ensure compliance. So whatever is bred from the research institute with the advocacy of National Agricultural Extension and Liaison Offices. We, the Seed Council, as regulators, what we do is to ensure whatever is bred is true to time. Because these are new innovations coming in. These biofortified crops help to salvage a lot of this micronutrient issue, like the other speaker rightly said. Unlike the other conventional means that you need to provide them, which are expensive, but this one is enhanced from the crop. And as you know, every success of agriculture starts from the seeds. So we, the seed sector, we make sure that in the regulation, in the regulatory aspects, that nutrient enhance and whatever is said is really in that seed class. As we mentioned earlier, in the case of cassava, vitamin A rich cassava, they have developed over 6 varieties to now, and for the maize, over 10 varieties, and the orange fresh sweet potato also. So what we do as regulators is to ensure that that particular variety contain those nutrients we are talking about. And how do we do it? How do we do it? From the release of those varieties, there are samples we take from to the lab, our lab, and ensure that those vitamins and minerals are there. And whenever we have officers cut across all the nations that do field inspection. They do field visit of those particular varieties that are multiplied so that the target audience gets what they are getting. And it's really true to try. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Achuku. So now, my question is going to Dr. Elu. So when people purchase this biofortified foods, what are the challenges they usually have? What are the complaints? What are the things that reduces the rate of acceptability?
Okay, thank you. Just like the former speakers have said, one of them is issue of the moisture content. You know, they've always complained that the moisture content is high. So in addressing that, on the long run, even after the processing, they get the product. Somehow the moisture content will be reduced, but how the shelf stability will also depends on how low that moisture content is. That's one of the things that inhibits people. Another thing is people's general understanding. Just as we say sweet potato we know is cream and white. How come this is pink? And some of them has complained that when they cook it, it doesn't taste sweet like the normal sweet potatoes. This can be addressed in the sense that there's some diets when you get to nutritionists and you prescribe a diet. Some people could have certain illnesses that will say reduce your intake of sugar. So we would say those kind of food are good for such people. Even if we decide to cook, we can this why I'm emphasizing on sweet potato is that most times that's where their complaint is mostly on. You can even decide to process the sweet potato in form of porridge that you eat at home, and you get a very good porridge, because the complaint is after cooking it, you find that it's so tender. But one thing I know about it is that they are orange flesh, even as vegetable. When they're properly washed, you can easily chew it as you chew your normal carrots. Are you with me? So when
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
cassava, for cassava, yellow cassava, vitamin A cassava, when you're processing, you get, especially if you want to process it into gari, you will see your yellow gari coming out without adding oil, thereby reducing your cost of production, apart from its nutritional stability. And in preparing it to get eba, you need just slowly, once the water boils, you stir it in the water from seconds, it's already gelatinized for you to eat as eba. So you find out that these crops that really they can compare very well. It's just creating awareness to the people to know that they are safe for consumption and they are not GMOs. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So that's the reason why this going on live, so that everyone will be able to understand that these foods are good for our health, they are good for consumption, and to clarify and remove all inhibitions. Now, when it comes to availability, access, how do people now get access to these crops? So, Dr. Achukwu, you as a regulator, you know where these things are, you know how you get those calls for certification. So can you just point our attention to in the direction of where people can get this from?
Yes, thank you very much for this question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this question. As I explained earlier, the onset of this start with research and development. And you can see that most of these development partners, CGIAs and other research institutes, are most of the people that develop those particular varieties. After these varieties are developed, we take it to the farms for adoption, whereby there will be on-farm trial, where farmers will also contribute in the selection. From there, there are awareness going all over so that people will be aware that these particular varieties are released. And in the case of Seed Council, we also have a department that is called Seed Industry Development that do some on-farm trials and highway demonstration in the villages, whereby they can see the performance right from the agronomical attributes, the performance, and even some of these post-harvest evaluations. So most of the times, these varieties are domiciled from the research institute, then sprayed to other seed companies for seed multiplication. From those seed companies, after the multiplication, those seed companies will sell it to farmers, whereby they will multiply it as grain. You can see that the distribution is more and is widespread.
Okay. So I think his network cutting off a bit there. So, but I like the point where you mentioned that in the National Agricultural
Of all
System,
these
like that.
nutritious rich foods.
Yeah, please continue. We lost you a bit there.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Anchukwu. Can you hear
Hello?
us? Are you with us? Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello?
Please go ahead.
So as I said earlier, you see, the seeds are in trade. They buy those foundation seeds
Okay.
are the ones that will increase the multiplication and send it to farmers, whereby farmers can buy the certified seed and multiply it at grace. Both the cassava, the orange flesh sweet potato, and other incoming provitamin enriched foods.
Thank you very much, sir. So my next question is, where can farmers go? In celebrating the World Food Day, for instance, we also try to facilitate access. We got a few vines of the
Are we
orange
together?
flesh sweet potato. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm hearing you. So I'm only saying
Yeah.
some of the things we've done, and farmers gave us feedback that they've been looking for this vine for a long time. So where can they go to access these institutes? Yeah, Dr. Eno,
Okay.
you can hear me. Dr.
I can. Yeah. We have the
Yeah, Dr.
research.
Eno, you can share your mind on this.
Okay. We have the research institute in every geopolitical zone. We have one everywhere, and each of them already have, you know, these stem cuttings or the seedlings to use to plant them. For example, if you go to Umudike, where we have in the southeast, we have the research institute at Umudike. They have the varieties of vitamin A cassava you can easily pick, and they will tell you what all information about each variety is left for you to now take it up. Even in the southwest, in the northeast, north central, you have research institutes that are handling these various varieties. So that's are the places you can go. But one thing about good about this biofortified crop is once you get a variety and you plant it and you have a bumper harvest, you can easily keep the ones you harvested to use and plant the next season. Remember, that's what makes it unique. You can use it. You mustn't always go back to Umudike or any of the research institute unless there is another trait you're looking for in terms of your harvest. Then you can say, let me pick this variety and know what the outcome will look like. Thank you. It's like that out.
They are out.
They're out. Nobody is here again.
Uh-oh. So
So it's only us.
maybe I'll go
Hello?
ahead and ask you more questions and
That house, I don't know whether that, if I may ask you as a producer,
reconnect.
what are your products and the challenges you've met during your production process?
Okay. First and foremost, you must use you are not going to use the sun in reducing moisture reduction.
Okay,
That's the
okay,
first challenge.
challenge.
So because there's high moisture in it.
Mm,
Okay, they are back.
okay. Maybe you continue so that you can join us.
She has joined us already.
Oh, I
Okay,
know
because
it.
of the high moisture, it
Mm.
now consumes more power
Power,
because it takes
yeah,
a longer time, yes, to dehydrate
to hydrate.
than other conventional ones that you could just sun dry them, not minding how long it takes and all
Mm,
that. So that's the first challenge. You need to retain everything because you don't have to expose it to the sun. And then storage. It must be an opaque material. So
Yeah.
if you do not find an opaque material to preserve, it's another challenge because the quality is being, it will deteriorate over time.
You're
So
right.
finding the right packaging material, and then you want to package in an opaque material, the customers want to see what is inside.
That's the challenge. You're right. Okay. The moderator, please.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
uh, CEO Diet House. Now, as a
Ma'am,
producer, I believe the
you
capacity
what?
building systems that you've been going through under our science project that Ikore is taking on in collaboration with GAIN. I believe you've been able to learn a few things, in how to
Yes.
Mm.
package and also preserve the quality of the food.
Yes, I have.
Uh,
Okay. So I want to thank everyone for this session. I don't know if the speakers have one or two things to add before we wrap it up.
um, Maybe I will start with, there's a sensitive area we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to add is that this biofortified crops, remember I said it initially, once you harvest, you can keep some and replant the next year. And that what makes it unique. And the aim of having this crop is to address the masses, not just a specific group. That's why we are starting from the planting to get those, micronutrients intact inside the crop as they grow. We want to address that hidden hunger as we initially defined to the whole population and also to our country. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Dr. Want to appreciate everyone who came in live. Lucy Bella, we see you. Thanks for joining us. Sayine Jidauna, thank you.
Okay.
Alingo, sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah, Adija Muritala, thanks for joining. Happy World Food Day. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks for joining in. Usia Yakubu, Idowu Femi, the farmer. Thanks for joining in Happy World Food Day. And I hope you're able to get that information that the biofortified crops, you can have access to the inputs. Yes, so these are some of the things that I would like you to take on from here. The inputs are available. You can always reach out to us. We have Harvest Lost. We're supposed to have him to joining us, but he had something else that kept him away. But subsequently, we also want you to know that this will be the first of this series in food systems conversations like this. So discussions about boosting the quality of the food that arrives on our tables. So these conversations will continue. This is just the first among many that are coming up. So thank you for joining us, and we want you to keep staying healthy. Please purchase nutritious foods. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Dr. Achukwu, thanks for coming. Thank you, Dr. Elochukwu. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, everyone. Happy World Food Day. Stay healthy, stay strong.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye. God bless you.
Bye.